Let's break down your physics GCSE into some manageable chunks. This one always confuses pupils, but it's actually not too difficult when you really break it down. So let's start with the ingredients. What do we need for the motor effect? And we actually only need two things. We need one, a current carrying conductor, and two, a permanent magnet. Current carrying conductor sounds fancy, but really it's just a wire with a current running through it. Okay, two, what do these two things do when they are placed near each other? So when you place your current carrying conductor inside a magnetic field, that wire will feel a force acting on it. Sometimes you'll see this in a lab if you put a piece of wire with a current in between a horseshoe magnet, and you will literally see that wire flying up into the air. But in order to explain the motor effect, I need to explain why that happens. So first you need to appreciate you've got two magnets here. You've got one, the permanent magnet, but two, you have also got a magnet because of the fact that there is a current through that wire. So there are some magnetic field lines between the magnet poles, and there are the field lines around that piece of wire with the current flowing through it. Let me show you exactly what you need to say first in the exam, and then I'll explain to you what that actually means. The magnetic field from the permanent magnet interacts with the magnetic field around the current carrying conductor, producing a force. Take a screenshot. Now, in terms of why, or what does that actually mean? As I said before, these are essentially just two magnets, and if you've ever brought two bar magnets near to each other, you'll know that if you bring them near to each other, they will feel a force acting between them, either attracting or repelling. Well, it's the same thing here. You have a piece of wire with a current running through it. That is a very simple electromagnet. It has a magnetic field, it's a magnet, and you bring it near a permanent magnet. So no surprise, when you bring those two magnets towards each other, there are forces acting between them. And you can therefore use this effect in motors, because if we can have forces, then we can have things spinning. But that's for another video. Now, is it enough to just understand that that's what it is and that's why it happens? It's your GCSE physics. Of course not. You also need to be able to explain what would affect the size of the force and what would affect the direction of the force. So, any ideas for those? Leave them in the comments.